the end, we want to come up with an idea what discrimination actually is, what it means, and how we as individuals are confronted with it also in our society.
Oh, where do we start?
Yeah, I'm Alex.
Sorry.
I'm Alex too.
Yeah, I'm Alan.
Alicia?
I'm Andreas.
Sylvie? I'm Karata.
I'm Shakir. I'm David.
Dana.
I'm Dalia.
Gloria.
Gina.
Helena.
Peter.
Michael. Andrew. Matthew.
Michelle.
Mira.
That's the place where we are.
Some of the tasks at each station.
Where are the stations?
So, here, we have first station, photos.
Yeah, I'm Helena Hartmann, I'm from Germany and I'm 16 years old. In the first days we talked about discrimination and our identity, and I think, or for me it was really helpful to talk to others how they see my identity, or how stereotypes work and what I can do to make me seem maybe more nicer.
I'm Stacy Bokulu. I'm from Israel and I am 18 years old. We learned about discrimination and we got to know each other, and we learned about stereotypes and what's acceptable in society and what's not. We learned about how to accept each other and not to judge.
Let me first introduce myself. I'm the mayor of Belfast City. My name is Neil O'Donoghue.
McCarthy from the Social Democratic and Labour Party, and I'm also a member of Belfast City Council, as you all are.
My name is Bob Stoker. I'm an Ulster Unionist Party politician and former member of the Northern Ireland Forum for South Belfast.
Okay, I'm not really going to answer to any statements of what's the name of the party? Yeah, that's it, right, okay.
Okay, my name is Maciek, I'm 18 and I'm Polish. My role was apparently the leader of the DUP. Basically, my character is not the leader, but I took over the reign of the party, and so.
I have to say that I'm really looking forward to the work that is ahead of us.
I'm Alex. I'm 16 years old and I'm from Germany, especially from the capital of Germany, from Berlin. So the simulation game was about the Northern Ireland conflict, especially about the violent conflict between Catholics and Protestants in Northern Ireland, and especially in our case in this simulation, especially in Belfast.
This is the main goal. We will have, in the end, for sure, a final agreement. And this final agreement contains all the measures: security, culture and economy, and reconciliation.
First of all, it was very difficult for me, but I was only thinking about myself, like what like if I am Celine, what I will do. But like with time, I get used to it, so I have to think in the mind of the actor that I represent. So it was quite difficult, but now it's very easy.
Yeah, we have different interests and different aims of them. They want something and we want something else, so we can't just agree with them.
Hello, we would like to find out, what is this meeting about? Is this a conspiracy, or?
We want to know, how are your ideas about security in Belfast in the future, and how do you want to apply it in the people's life?
My name is Dana, I'm 16 years old and I'm Palestinian. My role in the simulation game was in the press team.
So now I'm here with some Protestant citizens in the street of Belfast. Like I felt like the simple people, the one who had nothing like to do with politics and all this, they're just like normal people seeking to have a normal life. They were the one who were discriminated because they had to live under circumstances of politics and such a complex life, and they were the one influenced by it.
How do you think the meetings today went, in your opinion?
Yeah, so each party present their strategy very good, I think, and very clear. Yes, there are some ideas. I'm not really sure if they are able to realize them.
I think it understands more protection for both Protestants and Catholics, but we want them to be treated equally. So it's not like they get the same amount of more protection.
Don't you think as a DUP that people or activists who leave their country to go and protest in other countries should have the right to go back to the
So anybody else can have a different impression and consider the other side before they vote. So anybody else wants to make a statement for or against this amendment?
I did have fun. It was very fun playing a different role and fighting for something that my role believes in. You start to get into it very much. When you think of a conflict, you don't know who's discriminated, and I myself found out that both sides were discriminated, and they probably see each other as discriminator.
I hope that they will find some solutions for their problems, and yeah, we of course found some solutions today, and yeah, I hope that it will be able for them to live in the same country, even if they have got different ideas or different ways to participate their lives.
We want to make an equal society where Catholics and Protestants are both the same, so I believe it was very successful, this meeting.
So it's quite not easy to apply these things in our society, because there's also a difference between the society in Berlin and in Belfast, but I think there are some things you could some ideas which are really helpful.
I really wish that each nationality has its freedom, and especially in my country back home.
So I try to compromise and negotiate to make peace and try to find a common ground to find a solution for both sides that is acceptable for both sides.
How you get to know the other cultures and start finding not only the differences but also the similarities.
The thing that I learned the most was just getting to know everybody and the roles and to see the different views and different sides of everything.
Well, it's not that easy, I think. What are we trying to do here is to learn some basics, and those basics are that you have to. Those basics are the values like compassion, understanding. This is what you have to apply to your society actually, but on the other level. So we learn the basics.
Even though we're really young, it's good to be active in political problems and to even try to find a solution for them. The earlier you start, the better it is.
First of all, we had at the beginning a certain method, which is Betsafta, and we dealt with it for 2 days. We learned about democracy, we learned about this certain method, and it was different than the last time because the last time it was more about ourselves, our perspectives, our way of thinking, and this time it was more about how to apply our thoughts in this method.
So usually it depends on the case you're in. You have to be in the case and then think about it, but I think even thinking about it is a good thing. And in the end you can still say, okay, let's do a majority vote, it's still okay. But usually we tend to take the easiest way in decisions. This is something natural, this is something human, I guess. Ask them and maybe we find a solution that seems more appropriate to all of us and brings everyone in a way, so that even the minority can say, okay, now they heard me and they still do their own thing, but I'm fine, they heard me, they saw me, they heard me, and this is good.
We need to talk about the democracy, so democracy can't come without a group, so not individual, it needs group.
Yeah, well, the fact that basically they couldn't just, they couldn't just be assertive and say, okay, this is bothering me, I don't like this. They kind of had to go with the flow, and that's, like we talked about the contract and how, they should have just stood up and said something.
Yeah.
When over here you see that it's, in certain situations you just can't.
During this Surrey volunteer activity, we saw that there's a certain dynamic within the majority and the minority group then, which makes it actually very hard for us to stand up and to speak up.
People tend to have majority votes. It's quicker and it looks democratic in a way, but maybe we can do a little bit more of an effort.
For the last 2 days we've been having a simulation game, which was about the fictional town of Annapolis, and the town was suffering both economically and both socially.
I'm the mayor of the city, and I just received a funding from the EU to build 3 buildings.
The country of Anasia is the fictional town Annapolis.
There are 14 suggestions, and we had to choose the 3 out of these 14 suggestions, and each party had different interests, so each party had to fight for their interests.
I think it would be good for most of the people, because I think all of the buildings are very important to the city, and if anyone any building passes, it will benefit the city.
Majority want, until now, to build a new cookie factory.
I think I'm gonna vote for the high school because we can build a library there and it will help my views and interests.
For the museum. You're voting already for the museum?
I'm from Israel and I just turned 18.
I'm here with the CP party. Fosbury News heard you got really angry at something. Can you tell us what happened?
I think your sources are a bit wrong, but yeah, we're just negotiating and I just wanted to apply some force and pressure.
Well, then what was the issue?
You'll have to wait and see. I was the leader of the Conservative Party, David Agius, and I entered my role quite well, I'd say, but it was really hard to fight for what I believe in because, what I believe in was sort of capitalistic in a way.
My name is Muntasser Bukhari, I'm from Israel and I'm 16 years old. Mine was Professor Andrews Embryosis, and he's the director, like the Association of Culture, something like that. And I had to build like culture stuff, museums and libraries, and like to increase education and all that. I achieved half of them. The museum, there were more important things to build, for example homes, and politics are hard to convince people, but it's also in a way kind of fun because there's a problem and you solve it, so you have to fight for what you want.
My name is Sabrina Belloni and I'm here with the mayor. Walter Bellino. Can I ask you some questions? Excuse me, can you tell me what you're talking about now? Right now? Why the fuck would they want a cookie factory?
Let's go.
We had like a different seminar game last time, so we really knew how to act like politicians, how to talk, how to convince people, maybe how to be serious.
Each party has to decide which building will be located where.
And that. So it was more easier for me to get into my role, to know how to deal with things and to think about it in a democratic way, in a conflict resolution way.
And maybe like this party wants the shopping mall in the old town, and the other party wants to
simulation games sort of give you a new perspective, one that you don't have when you just discuss the situation that is going on. When you actually have to make the decision itself and feel like you have something, like you're losing something, it becomes much more worthwhile to you.
I think the simulation game method is useful because it made me reconsider for a long time, because I'm from Israel. I wasn't considering taking politics on as a career because it's way too complicated and there's too much criticism surrounding the issue. Now I'm thinking of redoing politics because I see that there might be some hope, and I really hope that I continue to believe this way.
For the second practice piece, also for the first part, but we always thank you about that. So thank you for taking part in it, being engaged and helping us work. And it was a lot of fun with you. I hope you had fun too. We'll see in the evaluation sheets. But for now, we would like to honor your participation in this project by giving you a certificate. Thank you.
For me, it's much more like about a certain mindset we are trying to give you. To just not take the things for granted, as we said before, to look behind the scenes, to ask yourself, is this really the way it is? And that was what we were trying to do with the simulation games, with the sessions around the simulation games, in the first seminar, but also what we were doing with Bitsafter was going into a similar direction.